Welcome in to a brand new week here on Ravens Rundown. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. We have the latest Baltimore Ravens news and rumors. We'll start with Danielle Hunter coming up in just a matter of moments. But before we get to that, I want to make sure that all of our Ravens fans are subscribed to the channel as we're covering your Baltimore Ravens like no one else is. And folks, we are getting very, very close to about 10,000 subscribers on the channel. We're about 83 away. You may be wondering, why should I subscribe? Well, you're going to get daily news and rumor segments. We'll do our live shows from time to time, watch parties for some of the marquee games throughout the season. And on top of all of that, anytime the Ravens make a move, we're going to stop whatever we're doing, and we're going to bring you a video as quickly as we can. So subscribe now for free today. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. You'll be glad you did. Let's get started with today's show. Danielle Hunter has been named as an ideal fit for the Baltimore Ravens. That's according to Last Word on Sports. We know that the Vikings have kind of shopped Danielle Hunter of sorts with his future in question, with the Vikings of the money that they've paid out to several guys. They might just simply not have enough money to pay Danielle Hunter, quite frankly. And so where does that leave him? And what about the Baltimore Ravens? Here's more from Last Word on Sports. Even after releasing Cook, the Vikings need to free up more money if they want to re-sign Justin Jefferson and find an answer at quarterback next year. Hunter is still a very good player at an important position, but there is a chance that Minnesota decides he's not worth the price tag. So that's the situation. It just simply comes down to dollars and cents, all about the Benjamins, right? And so if the Vikings can't pay him, what about the Baltimore Ravens potentially paying him instead as a possibility? We know you look at this Ravens team, and they're trying to find answers when it comes to an additional pass rusher of some sort. So could Hunter be that guy for the Baltimore Ravens? Listen to this. Here's some details that we have for you in regards to Danielle Hunter and the Baltimore Ravens. He is due to make $4.9 million in 2023. And so I know what you're thinking, that, hey, the Ravens don't necessarily have a whole lot of money to spend. You can make the money work for you, as Dave Ramsey would say, this upcoming season. But it's next year and beyond when things start to get a little tricky for Danielle Hunter. You're looking at a market value, and obviously this could change, but a market value for Danielle Hunter around $20 million per season. So if you were to extend him and pay him, that's going to go up quite a bit. And obviously you've paid Lamar and some other guys. So can you make that work? Well, that remains to be seen. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler said a while back that he thinks the trade value for Danielle Hunter is around 2 picks or more as far as that goes. So not only are you going to have to pay him a significant amount, but you're going to have to give up multiple picks more than likely to make the move for Danielle Hunter. We know that he's not happy with the way things are in Minnesota. He skipped mandatory minicamp. He wants a new contract, or he wants to be traded, one of the two. So it doesn't make things easy. So what could a deal look like for the Ravens? Well, Bleacher Report put this trade idea together a few weeks ago, and I want to bring it to your attention of a possible way the Ravens could make a move for Danielle Hunter here. The Ravens could get Danielle Hunter in a 6th-round pick in exchange for giving up a 2nd and a 4th in next year's draft. So that's an idea there. I don't hate the idea personally. What do you guys think? Should the Ravens trade for Danielle Hunter? Now that we know what the price tag looks like of how much money that he would likely cost and what it would cost you in draft capital, what do you think? Should the Ravens make a move for Danielle Hunter or not? Weigh in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Y for yes, in for no, if the Ravens should trade for Danielle Hunter or not. Shifting gears now to Jadeveon Clowney. Yard Barker is recommending that the Ravens sign the free agent edge rusher. Clowney, a former number 1 overall pick. His career, he's had some flashes, he's had some moments, but there's been a lot of peaks and valleys for Jadeveon Clowney. He's coming off a down year with the Cleveland Browns. So if you can't get a guy like Danielle Hunter potentially, What about Jadeveon Clowney? Here's more from Aaron Becker of Yardbarker. Why the Ravens here? The 30-year-old is coming off a down season when he had just 28 tackles, 2 sacks, and 1 forced fumble with the Browns. However, that will help his first-round caliber talent come at a cheap price. The Ravens also still have plenty of funds with almost $10 million in cap space. Clowney would not only be a cheap investment, but serve as a good insurance policy as well. With edge rushers David Ojabo and Tyus Bowser missing significant time due to injuries in 2022, Clowney could fill in if either player were to get injured or underperform. Now, I think it's very important to have insurance, not just because my dad sells insurance, but it's very important to have. And I agree that the Ravens do need to get some depth and look at other options here. But as far as the pecking order goes of what I would be looking at when trying to find edge rushers, Jadeveon Clowney wouldn't be my priority. The Ravens need to do something. It's better than doing nothing if they were to bring in Jadeveon Clowney. But there's other guys that I like more. Like, I don't know, Danielle Hunter, who we talked about via trade, although he would cost a lot more in trade capital, obviously, it would take, and you'd have to pay him significantly more. But that's an idea. You also have Chase Young, who we've talked about on this channel recently from the Washington Commanders as a possibility. Similar to Danielle Hunter, got to give up draft capital, got to pay him as well. And then here's the other free agents. We mentioned Clowney's a possibility. Yannick Ngakoue is still around as well, although Yannick Ngakoue not great when it comes to run defense, but a very good pass rusher. And then, old friend Justin Houston, who, might I remind you, led the Ravens in sacks last season. So they have options. Got to do something. We'll see what they do. But you know the meme, the do something meme? That's how I feel right now with the Baltimore Ravens when it comes to this position. Do something. Okay? Maybe it's Jadeveon Clowney. Maybe it's Danielle Hunter. Maybe it's bring back Justin Houston. Okay? Do something, please. Because what you have right now is not going to be good enough to get by. You need some depth. Name an edge rusher the Ravens should add. Chime in the comment section and tell me what you think they should do. So it's interesting. We're ending on this subject with John Harbaugh today, speaking about where the roster stands, how it's not perfect, and it's good, but there's still more work to be done. Like, I don't know, maybe an edge rusher potentially. There's more from Harbaugh on where the roster sits right now. To me, the roster is good enough to go play with no changes, and it's never so good that it can't be improved. So if there's an opportunity, I'm sure that because that's how General Manager Eric DeCosta thinks, we'll make the most of it. So what are some of the remaining team needs at this point for the Ravens here? Defensive line, finding more depth, more pass rushers would be key. In particular, edge rusher, finding another option there to provide that depth we're talking about, to be able to get to the quarterback. Running back, also a need here. The Ravens did not draft a running back this year. Now, Mitchell from East Carolina, their undrafted free agent, there's a lot of high hopes about what he could potentially bring to the table. But you don't know about the future of J.K. Dobbins, and there's also questions about how J.K. Dobbins could fit in this Todd Monken offense. Maybe you start doing some soul searching to see if other options at the running back position, in particular for good pass-catching running backs. And then on the offensive line, there is question marks at the left guard spot. Got a competition there, obviously. And also your depth pieces as well. We've seen when guys like Ronnie Stanley and others go down that the Ravens haven't had much answers to turn to, historically speaking. And so finding more guys to fill those voids if that were to happen. So you tell me, what is the Ravens' biggest need they should address? The roster looks good. I think the Ravens are sneaky good, and the rest of the league isn't really noticing. But I got to tell you, it's not perfect. There's still more work to be done as far as I'm concerned. What's the biggest need they should address? Let me know in the comments section. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, also on Facebook, and now on Threads, where I think producer Coop might not even be following me yet, but you should be following me on Threads. At Tyler Jones Live, you can find me there. I'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you joining us here on Ravens Rundown.